Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited that you're here. My name is Nikki McCutchen, and our call tonight will only be for 30 minutes. So thank you for taking 30 minutes out of your schedule to join us this evening. I'm super excited for the story that you're going to hear tonight. But we're going to start with our medical disclaimer, as always. So all LifeWave products are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any dis-ease. If you are pregnant or nursing or on medications, please check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first. And so just thank you for whoever invited you to the call tonight. They must really care about you, to want you to know more about this technology, to want you to hear about these amazing stories that we just get to be a part of every single day and seeing what the Lord does. And even before the call started, Edelyn shared even just her amazing story of just being in a car wreck this last week and how the technology just helped her inflammation and her pain right away, which we're so thankful that she's okay and that she had access to this technology. So we're just going to talk a little bit more about that. I am just so thrilled to get to introduce you to my sweet friend, Lisa. We have known each other since our children were little. And you know how you go about your life and you just do your things and things happen and you just, grow apart because of whichever direction your life and your family is running in. But there's those people, in your life that were just so very special to you. And so Lisa is definitely one of those people for me. And just so thankful how God just allowed us to just run into each other one day. And then we got to reconnect and just find out what's going on in all of our families now and what she's doing. And obviously, this is what I'm doing, for my income. And so we got to just share about what was going on. And so I'm just so thankful for you all to hear her story tonight. So, Lisa, would you just come on and just tell us why you got started on the technology, how long you've been using it, and what you have noticed since you've been using it.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Nikki. This is not really my thing to do, but I want to help at least one person if I can. Nikki is very dear to me, and she's the one that got me introduced to it simply because, not simply, there was a divine intervention, I believe. After all the years, we hadn't really, we were Facebook friends, and, you know, um, your son was at the school that I worked at the time. So we had a little bit of connection, but it had been probably several months or a couple of years since I had even talked with you. And I ran into her at a little health food store, which to me was supposed to happen because I really was looking for something to help me naturally help my thyroid, cure my thyroid to where I wasn't going to need to try to figure out medications, or I was on supplements at the time. So that's how I got started, was just reconnecting with Nikki. The issue had been back in 2015, I was taken to the ER with a diagnosis of thyroid storm, which is a kind of an exaggerated version of hyperthyroidism, and it can be fatal if it's untreated. And so I was in ICU for a few days and they put me on methimazole. And so that got my thyroid back normal. And so after a couple of years of doing that, my thyroid levels were normal. And then I decided I didn't want to keep doing it this way for the rest of my life. So I looked into some natural supplements. I had never heard of LifeWave. I didn't even know about that technology, or I didn't know anything about that, but I was just looking into some herbal supplements. And so I found a compound that I really liked. And I started taking that. I didn't tell my endocrinologist about it. I just started taking it. And then he kept saying, well, your levels are getting more normal as we go, but you've got a 75% chance of relapse. This is probably not going to, we'll just see what happens. Because I kept saying I want to be off the meds, and he kept saying, well, let's just keep going. So finally he agreed to get me off the meds, and my levels kept staying normal. But again, I was just like, I really wish there was something I could do. And then that's when I ran into Nikki, was at that kind of intersection where I didn't want to keep doing that either. I tried to, I always eat healthy and all of that. I try to, keep my body healthy with exercise and food intake and all of that. But um, when she told me about the patches, when I ran into her, um, and then we ended up meeting later just to talk more about it. I thought, well, this has way more benefits than just for my thyroid. So I really want to try it. So now, and that was back in September of last year. And now I'm no longer on any of those supplements either. And my thyroid levels, I just had my annual visit to the doctor and everything is perfectly lined up.
Oh,
And
yay.
I know it's because of the patches.
Yes.
There's no doubt. So um, I'm overall, it's not just about saving money. Although I mean, the patches are an investment, but there are way more benefits than just what I was getting with my thyroid. I sleep better. I don't have inflammation anymore. And this is just with the X39 only. So I don't know what else to
Yes,
say.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so that was 10 months. Yeah, 10 months of utilizing just the
Yeah.
X39. And when did you go back into your doctor?
I went back in, it was 2 months ago.
Okay,
So
so at about 8 months of using the technology, but you were feeling it. You were feeling just
yeah.
the vitality and everything. When did you start feeling like there were things that were going on that were positive?
Um, I noticed I was sleeping better kind of first. Um, and I noticed, so I work in a bank and so I sit a lot and I noticed that my ankles would get, just from sitting, I would develop fluid in my ankles. That actually stopped. Um, it didn't really matter, if I spend the whole day sitting, that's just what happened to me. But I
Mhm.
don't have that anymore. So
Praise the
I think
Lord.
I forgot to mention that to you.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
yeah.
that happened pretty quickly. And then I didn't really know what was going to happen with my thyroid until I went to my annual visit, which was just, I think, 2 months ago. So that's when I found out all my numbers were still normal, even though I stopped taking the supplements I was taking. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a risk. I just stopped
Right.
them.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's
I,
and how
you know,
long, when did you stop your supplements?
um, so I started doing the patches, I think it was August, September of last year.
Yeah,
And
September,
I
yeah.
know that I stopped taking the supplements in December for
Okay.
sure.
So just a
So,
couple of months with both. Yeah.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't really know if I should. I just didn't want to go back into that rut again with my thyroid. It was a little scary.
Absolutely, for sure. That's very, very scary. Oh my
Yeah, but
gosh.
after I met with you about the patches, I did a lot of reading about them and listened to a lot of the testimonials, especially about the thyroid, with your sister-in-law too.
Mhm.
Um, that I thought, okay, I'm gonna just try this.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. So I just want to commend you in, just taking charge of your health overall, like just really deciding that you wanted to be in charge of your health and you were going to make the decisions and that you knew your body best. And so a lot of people, are afraid and scared to make the decisions, especially when they've gone through something like you have. And so I know that takes a lot of courage and trust for people to just, dive in and do the research and then feel confident in their decisions for themselves. And so I just commend you for that because I think that's a blessing for people to start in that place. And we all need to start there. We all need to pursue health and be the ones who are our own best advocates and make those decisions for ourselves. So I just commend you for that. And just I think it's amazing. So you uh so did they when you went back for your visit, did they try to talk you back into getting on the medication and say anything to you about being back on it?
they didn't even mention my thyroid because it was so normal.
Wow.
They, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Yes. Oh my
They were
gosh.
like, there was an other, like I had a little bit too much potassium, but I mean, that wasn't anything bad. It was
Right.
just because I was probably drinking too many juices. So with
Well,
potassium in the, she goes, are
yeah.
you, I've said, yeah, I probably have too many things with bananas in them. So
Well, most people are low in potassium, so it's fantastic that, that you were definitely optimal, and I don't,
yeah,
and by their standards, a little bit high probably wasn't, probably wasn't
no,
like if you look at a natural practitioner, what he would say would be standard or she would say would be standard. So yeah,
that
so
was
that's
my,
awesome.
that was my only test result that was off was the potassium level. So
Yeah.
that's what they wanted to talk about. They didn't even talk about my thyroid. And I mean, my I try to like the doctor that I have is very supportive with my my desire to be have more natural health care and
Yeah.
not uh, prescription medications and all of those things, but they still, they
Right.
want they want to help, and so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, that's great to have a doctor that's supportive. We definitely, if it's your doctor's not supportive, you should get a new doctor.
right.
So that's fantastic that yours is supportive. What a blessing. That's certainly a blessing for sure. So you have shared the technology with your mom, right? You want to talk about her results?
Yes. Okay. So my mom and I are like this, and we do a lot together. And so whatever I'm trying, she wants to know about. So I told her, in a gentle way, this is what I'm not trying to pressure you because really, to me, this was just our when our paths intersected. It it was just for me, it was an obvious, okay, I need to take a step forward here because this is in front of me now. So I want to try it. So I told her about it. And what really helped was not hearing from me, but hearing from Nikki. When she heard from Nikki, she's like, okay, well, I might want to try it too. I don't know that I need it, but and she's 81 and she looks about 70.
Yes.
But she decided to try it. So she's on the X39, and I think she tried some of a couple of the other patches
Yeah,
too.
Eon and carnosine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now she's just back on the X39 only. But she keeps telling me, I see her every week, and she says, I just sleep so well. I think there are way more benefits happening to her than what she recognizes. To
Right.
me, her mobility looks better. I don't know. I haven't even discussed this with you, Nikki, but as far as like joints and all of that, she seems like she's getting around better. But
Awesome.
definitely her sleep has improved. That's the biggest thing she talks about all the time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's so exciting. Yes, I love that. I love like, sharing is caring. And when we can help our family and especially our sweet mamas, it just makes us all so happy. So I'm so thankful to get to chat with your mom and get to know her. She's just such a sweetheart, and just has so much life and vibrancy and just truly amazing, amazing woman. So it's just a blessing to get to share the technology with her as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to explain to you all real quick about how would Lisa get these kind of results? Why would something like this happen? So our technology, so this is what it looks like. So tiny little patch, super easy, pop it on, go on about your day. So there is nothing easier. There is no thought process. You could just put it on anywhere. Obviously, I have it on our wrist. There is clinically tested spots. So we have over 90 clinical studies. There's clinically tested spots. You can use those, or you can wear them anywhere you have a pain spot or anywhere that you would like to. So our technology is recognized and compliant as a general wellness product. It's a class 1 medical device, completely non-transdermal, which means there's nothing that transfers from this patch into my body. It is sealed with medical grade plastic, hypoallergenic adhesive, so sealed on both sides, and it's working through your own body's infrared light, which I'll explain here in just a minute. But inside of that patch is a organic amino acids and salts that are reflective. It's a crystal lattice structure structure that's reflective like a mirror. So at the stereoisomer level. So it's like a little cloth that's kind of on the inside of there. So, but they're actually teeny tiny little crystals. It has a 96% effectiveness rate. So there is really nothing in the, I mean, that's crazy to have a technology that across the board, whether it's Lisa's 81-year-old mom or whether it's her or whoever it is, that they can put on the technology and your body will use what it's activating in your body, and your body will use it for what you need, for what that in particular person needs. So, and for the other 4%, we have an amazing product called Cellergize. It is all the nutrients that you may be lacking if for some reason the technology is not working for you. So just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not working. So obviously Lisa didn't feel anything in her thyroid working or not working or otherwise because she was in a healthy place. She'd already really worked hard to help herself, to be healthy. So she wasn't necessarily feeling anything. But again, with that 96% effectiveness rate, it means that it's always working. And in this Cellergize product, things that you can be lacking is magnesium, potassium, which obviously Lisa is doing fantastic on her potassium. But for those, a lot of people are deficient in magnesium and potassium, or copper. So copper you can be low in and the technology won't work. The copper and zinc ratio in this is even. So we make sure that your body has the proper amount so nothing's getting out of balance, as well as it has Zyanthox, which is a supplementation that actually supports and optimizes stem cell production. And so we'll dive into that in a little bit in a minute because of what the X39 does. But like Lisa said, it's extremely affordable when you're considering the amount of benefits that you're getting, that you're actually receiving from the technology. It's extremely affordable. And really the only comparison that even would be close would be an actual stem cell injection. So those are thousands and thousands of dollars, and they do not do all of the other things that get activated and elevated in the body for the body to use it the way that it was designed to. None of those happen with a stem cell injection. So truly phenomenal, pennies on the dollar compared to that. I already said it was patented and over 200 patents, over 90 clinical studies. So how does it actually work? So every time you step out into the sun and the sun hits your skin and your eyes, it tells your body to make vitamin D. And then that vitamin D goes and does what it was already designed to do in the body. Your body handles it and uses it the way that it needs to. So this technology works the same way, only we are the light source. We are the heat source. So we don't need the light and the heat from the sun to activate the patch. We actually do that. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I'm going to explain it to you so it'll make sense. When you're watching a movie and they're looking through night vision goggles and they're talking about seeing a heat signature with all those different colors, scientifically, that's a low-grade infrared light. That low-grade infrared light is being emitted everywhere on our body, which means you can wear this technology anywhere you want to because it will be activated once it hits that infrared light. So it can even be in a pocket. It can be, it can even be a few inches away. Like if you had an injury or had to wrap, bandage wrap over an arm or a knee, you can place it on the outside of that because it's infrared light. So it's all in the infrared spectrum. You don't actually see any of it, but it will activate and reflect back into the body like a mirror, turning on a very specific peptide called GHK copper peptide. If you Google that peptide or look it up on PubMed, you're going to get a very long list of things that it does in the body, which is why Lisa was talking about, she knew because she had done the research, and patchtheway.com, that's a great place to go to do all the research. All of our links we have are there. It's PATCH, patchtheway.com. So you can deep dive as deep as you want to. You can watch testimonial videos like Lisa talked about, but there's all kinds of great information on that website. But when you do that deep dive and you look into that, you're going to see this long list that GHK copper peptide does in the body. I normally only talk about 5 major things that it does. The first is activate and elevate stem cells that are no longer working optimally in your body. So by the time we're 30, half of our stem cells are no longer working optimally. By the time we're 60, there's only 10% left that are any longer working optimally. So between that age of 30 and 60, you can think about how aches, pains, illness, disease, all of these things start to set in. It's because our body's not optimizing their stem cells anymore, because that's just the natural, normal aging process. Well, enter elevation of GHK copper peptide, and now your body can reset to a younger, healthier state by utilizing those stem cells in whatever way your body so deems necessary. And thankfully, with Lisa, we know that it went right to her thyroid. So it could have gone to her heart or her brain or her lungs if there was something else that the body deemed necessary. But she had 8 months before she went back in to do that lab work. And that's really what I talk to people about, giving the technology enough time. So 6 to 12 months, wearing it a good amount of time before you go back in and have that regular lab work done, so you can see what the technology has done for you. And thankfully, Lisa got this amazing result of it was working on her thyroid. Her thyroid is now completely regenerated. And that's all due to what the body was designed to do. It's what God has given us. It's what He has put in our bodies to heal itself, is GHK copper peptide. And so truly, we have an inventor and a founder who has studied the way that God does things. And so when you do the things that God wants you to do the way that He does them, you get all kinds of amazing results. And so it's one of the reasons I'm so thankful to be associated with a company like this, because we're supporting our infinite design and what God did for us. So stem cells is the first way. Cardiovascular system, so supports your entire heart, all of your blood vessels, all of the lining of your blood vessels. So it helps to bring that blood pressure back into balance. That's very normal and common, something that I see. Your brain, so your brain begins to balance out. So anxiety and depression can begin to lift. If you have foggy thinking, or if you struggle with finding words sometimes, like all of those things kind of start to clear again, because your brain is just resetting to a younger, healthier state. Inflammation is being reduced. And so you're truly being reset even for your brain on a younger, healthier state. So collagen. So that's the next thing, which is, so the collagen is probably why Lisa is noticing when she's talking about her mom feeling like she's probably more mobile, like she's seeing better mobility, in her joints and the way she's moving, because collagen is actually in every single part of our body. It's actually the glue that holds us together. So our ligaments, our tendons, our fascia, and all the lining of our organs, it's literally everywhere. And so to have that collagen works the same way in your body as stem cells, to where it begins to reduce as we age at about the same rate as stem cells as well. So when you have the combination of those two coming together by elevating GHK copper peptide, you get these amazing results. And they can be tons of different results because of all the things that stem cells can benefit, and all of the things that collagen can benefit in the body. And because they're both everywhere, they benefit everything. And so, and then your immune system, that's the next thing I talk about. Everyone wants to have a better immune system. Everyone wants to feel better. And so just knowing that we're constantly exposed to toxins, no matter where we go, no matter what we eat, obviously, like Lisa talked about, eating a clean, healthy diet, making those good choices is so important. But even in that, we can still be exposed to toxins for one reason or the other. So just having that immune system support as well. So like I said, I always recommend that people wear it for at least 6 to 12 months to give them time to have been on the technology consistently. So consistently wearing the technology is very, very important as well, so that you can see those changes. So the body has what it needs on a daily basis. You will put these on in the morning when you get up. You'll take them off at night when you go to bed. So about 12 hours on and then 12 hours off. And then the next day I put on a brand new patch. And so day after day, month after month, super easy, just to put on that patch and go on about my day, and then have all of these amazing results like what Lisa was talking about tonight. And that's the cool thing, since I've been doing this for 2 years now, or a little over 2 years, the thyroid is one of those where I have seen very often people will get benefits in their thyroid. That was true of me as well. So Lisa, I don't know if we've talked since then, but my thyroid I had gone back in, it might've been a month or so ago now, and my thyroid has completely regenerated as well, showing no signs signs of any kind of issues or, not functioning properly or having inflammation or any of that is totally all gone. So, yeah, so very common, very exciting. And so thank you so much, Lisa, for just sharing your story with us tonight. Is there anything else you would like to add?
There is actually, while you're talking, I'm
Awesome.
thinking, all right, so I hopefully want to do a follow-up at some point in the future. I am on a prescription med for anxiety. That's one I haven't let go of. That's the only thing I'm on now. And so my next step is removing that.
Awesome. Very good. And this doctor is willing to work with you to come off of that as well?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's so exciting. Yes, that's
That's my
exciting. So
next
yes,
thing.
that's awesome. Well, we definitely want you to do a follow-up with us for sure. And if you start that process and you feel like maybe you don't have the balance that you're looking for, or you feel something that's a little bit off, I would just recommend that you add the Eon patch.
Yeah.
That one is specific to inflammation, but also specific to cortisol. So reducing that cortisol in the body, which is what has to do with the anxiety. Obviously, GHK copper peptide does everything in the body, so you may not even need the Eon, or it may be something that you want to use for just a little while, especially as you first come off, to try to help really get that cortisol regulated and have your body have the support that it needs, to really feel like, okay, it's starting to work again on its own and activate that peptide in the liver that's specific to the inflammation and the cortisol. So to have that balance, that just would be a possible consideration for you, on that if you feel like things might be a little bit off. But yeah, anyway, the GHK copper peptide really does everything when you give it enough time to do it. So
I
yes.
believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it.
Yes. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Yes. Thank you for sharing your story with us tonight. I know you're going to help so many people. I know this wasn't easy for you to come on, but you're beautiful. You're amazing. I know everybody loved you. And so just thank you for being willing to share your story with us. So, with that, thank you everyone so much for joining us tonight. Please share this with someone that you love and that you care about. Please use patchtheway.com. That's what it's there for, is to help educate people and learn more about this technology. And definitely, whoever invited you to the call tonight, please get back with them and tell them that you are ready to get started on this technology. So, with that, we pray blessing over each and every one of you. Good night,
Bye.
everyone. Have a good night.
You too.